skymirrorastrology.com, and you'll get the website for the app. Add /TV, you get my website with the turtle on it. Welcome, friends and neighbors, to show 1035. 1035 weeks I've served you. We're going to cover the first week in October in the sky mirror. It's way up ahead for me. I'm clear back here on the 13th of September. So I'm back here in time 2 weeks. I'm talking about the times 2 weeks up ahead of me, huh? Where are we set? Let's see. Oh, you got a new moon coming at you. The September 30th. It's a 9 Libra new moon. It trines Saturn. It gets you out of this dreadful depression and fear and confusion from the eclipse, which was at 9 Virgo, and squared old Saturn. Hasn't been easy for me, I'll tell you. You know, Saturn here, my moon's at 10 Virgo, see? So Neptune's opposing my moon, Saturn squaring it, and then a lunation went off. Eek! I won't even tell you. But I'm sure you can notice that I'm a little more sober and oldish and etc. Anyway, that new moon, I'm really looking forward to that. Get us out of this terrible month of September. All this confusion. The good news is, you remember Standing Rock? And remember the Wounded Knee? That was the original time that the tribes stood their ground, huh? But now it's Standing Rock. This is a big deal. And this is something to support the protectors. These guys are protecting the land and their water. And more on that in a little bit. But I'll get back to that. Let's do the sky mirror first. Business first. That's Saturn for you. Here's the planetary pattern. The sun's opposing Uranus here in about 10-12 days from where you're at. And you won't like the media and the newspapers, and something happened to YouTube and I can't find all my favorite stuff. I'm really ticked off at YouTube now. All of a sudden, bang! Anyway, the sun's in Libra, and in a couple days it's going to have that new moon and sextile Saturn, and all of these rules and regulations will be okay. Yeah, the judge, that's the fair thing. That's the judge, Saturn. You're going to go along with people in suits and ties, at least for a month. Get organized, okay? The other thing, this Saturn-Neptune square, it's a nasty. It's still within 1 degree. And a lot of judges are very lunatic-like and confused, and you know, there's going to be some VIPs with suits and ties, politicians, bankers, judges, that'll show up in scandal from Neptune. Neptune will scandalize them. You'll see. It's already been going on. Well, you've already had the month of it, haven't you? Son of a gun, it's all old stuff for you. If you're on the Thursday show, let's get into details here, huh? We're going to run the moon around the edge. Only moves about this far in a day. If you're watching the Thursday show on the 29th, the moon's in Virgo, and it's headed towards Jupiter here, which happens Friday morning. Moon goes by Jupiter. Everybody gets up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, full of new information, huh? Thing is, there's a square to Mars, and Jupiter is really nice. He's like the lawyer professor, you know, that kind of says, aha, lightning bolts of truth. Aha, now I see it clear. That's what Jupiter likes. But you start off with Mars. Mars is here early in the morning. So first there's anger and impatience, road rage, and then finally some information comes along and a little wisdom is provided that helps the matter a lot. Or you could just sleep through it all on Friday, because it's early on the 30th. Well, I was thinking about themes for this week, and, you know, let's not go by Pluto, huh? Here's my ephemeris. There's Pluto. Stopped and went direct. Only back on the 26th. So, you know, one of the themes for this week is still Pluto. Yeah, Scorpio vibes. It's your reptile brain. You know, you inherited from the reptiles. Flight or fight, territory. Shoot 'em. Kill 'em all, let God sort it out. Pluto is mass death, atomic weapons. You know, weapons of mass destruction, that's what Pluto is about. Of course, he's also about discovery and revolution. And so some interesting things going on. But you're at the peak of it already. I mean, here you are on the 29th, and only a couple days ago, Pluto stopped and got so strong, huh? And probably the best of it was back here Wednesday night, Thursday morning. The moon in Virgo trined it and went by Mercury. So there's a lot of discovery happening already. Things that, I had no idea. Under the surface stuff. Yeah? Go for Bosnia Pyramid and find out what's underneath that pyramid. It'll blow your mind. New discoveries. Really new stuff. Revolutionary stuff. So anyway, here you are on Friday, on September 30th, and there's a sextile to Saturn, conjunction to the Sun. You're going in that new moon, which sextiles Saturn, and says everything settles down. We'll take care of business first. Money and time, you know. Feels like a good idea, and everything's fine till you get to about 2, 3 in the morning, Saturday morning. The moon in Libra squares Pluto. Eek, a bug! Power and control issues. Panickiness. Something's going on here. What's the song? There's a man with a gun over there telling me I got to beware. Feeling goes on through Saturday. It even produces some sense of isolation as the moon opposes Uranus. You begin to wonder what's going on with the media anyway. I'll tell you something that really I can't believe is that none of the regular media cover the Standing Rock thing. Now, right now, you know, a couple hundred tribal people turned into 5,000. They're turning into 10,000. People are coming from all over the world to support the Standing Rock protest. If they don't call themselves protesters, they call themselves protectors. They're there to protect the water, the Missouri and Mississippi River, the environment. Anyway, it's a really neat thing, but it ain't covered in the media. What's going on? A media blackout? They're more interested in Hillary's cough. So we're not liking the media very much Saturday afternoon and evening. I took away all my list of YouTube favorites. Boo! Moon goes into Scorpio Sunday morning after breakfast. Feels a lot better. Look at that, you're in a sweet zone. Here's Venus. Moon will go by there Monday night, or Monday during the, there it is. Monday after breakfast, nice. But it starts off with a nice sextile to Mars Sunday night. Here the heroes are out, you can get physical stuff going. You're feeling like a hero. The moon's in Scorpio. Whole different feeling than all that edgy Libra stuff. And here's Neptune. You know, this is 3, 4 in the morning, Monday morning. Here's a trine to Neptune. Inspiration, music, art, the higher heart comes out. And here's the sweets. Venus, be with somebody you love around breakfast time. Moon conjuncts Venus in Scorpio. Ooh, that's sexy. Come on, be real. Continues through the day. Even to the place where at dinner time or about that there's a sextile to Pluto, and that doubles up the Pluto power and the control and all that Scorpio thing. You know, Scorpio rules the privates in the body, as does Pluto, organs of procreation and elimination. And so this is a powerful Monday. Wow, people could fall in love here Monday. Yes. Tuesday morning, moon's still in Scorpio, still feels pretty good. Here's in the afternoon of Tuesday, the kids are happy. There's a sextile to Mercury. We're communicating. And then the moon shifts into Sagittarius, and it changes. And it slows down. There's some initial elation as the moon sextiles Jupiter, and we're all laughing and think it's just fine Wednesday morning. But look at this. Here's the Neptune square and the Saturn conjunction. The confusion happens first, Wednesday around dinner time, and then the moon hits Saturn, and the judge, close that down. Oh, am I wrong? I lost my, lost my marbles. So this is really confusion. Stay home Wednesday night. Some people will be doing things that they're not sure of. And it's not a good time. Wednesday night, the 5th of October. You'll still be feeling it a bit Thursday morning, but early there's a sextile to the sun. At least you got a plan, huh? And you got an ambition there Thursday morning. There's a sextile to Uranus, or a trine to Uranus, Thursday night after dinner. So there's some technical awareness. There's some brotherhood. Just Google or Yahoo standing rock protest, and you'll get pictures, and you'll see these amazing people together, environmentalists, and tribes, indigenous people standing together for civil rights and freedom and for the environment. And this is a beginning of a revolution. That's what Uranus likes, brotherhood. So, tune into Standing Rock Thursday night. Get some brotherhood on the computer. Friday starts out okay. You're still feeling brotherhood until after breakfast. And then around just before lunch, the moon shifts into Capricorn, and the SHIT kind of hits the fan, because first of all, here's a square to Mercury. You can't communicate. That's difficult. And here's a square to Jupiter, and everybody's overdoing it. And here's a conjunction to Mars. Happens late Friday night, early Saturday morning. Finally, we got a sextile to Neptune. There's like a little music. Soothe the savage breast. I doubt it. Looks like people have lost their tempers here. The guys on the sports field are duking it out. It doesn't get too much better as you go into Saturday, because here in the middle of Saturday, in the afternoon, the moon goes by Pluto. And you know who Pluto is. He's the man with the gun over there. Shoot them. Lots of times you see him as a police officer. He can be Sherlock Holmes. He can be the investigator. But, I don't know whether he'll turn into the good investigator or the confused, scared policeman with too many bullets. But there it is, Saturday. And you're not happy with it. The moon squares the sun Saturday night. What is that? I don't like that at all. If I get a sextile to Venus, you might get a little sleep, but it is until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You start to relax a little bit with the moon sextile Venus. And then there's still the jitters to go through here, which is Sunday, from breakfast to lunch. Moon squares Uranus. It's shaky and jittery. I've been traumatized by Pluto. Well, hopefully this is the last chance that Pluto really has to rage at you. I mean, he went direct the 26th. There's the date. And we're up here on the 8th. So that's, 12 days? He's still pretty heavy duty. People's reptile minds go off snap. You'll see it inside yourself. Yeah, my territory. The reptiles have some good sides to themselves, but from the standpoint of a mammal, watch out for Pluto. Eek, a bug. Everybody hates bugs. I see a moving bug, and look out, and bang. There's border collies. I knew a lady that raised them. I said, are they good pets? She said, no, they bark at flies on the wall. They're alarm dogs, and they just see a little speck moving. To them, they think that's the lone sheep on the hillside or the wolf. And they got to alarm their owner so that you can't get them to stop barking at flies. Anyway, I hope the flies and cockroaches are harmless. Me, I don't like the centipedes. Eek, a bug! Eek! Okay, before I show you this short video, it's only 2 minutes, bring you up to date on the Dakota protection people. Last week I think I showed you dogs biting protesters and all of that, and then more and more people came up, tribes from all over the US and Canada, and it swelled up to 5,000 people. And now it just so happened that President Obama was in Laos, and he was at a school, and a school kid said, President, what do you know about Standing Rock? President didn't know nothing. He said, I'll check up on it. He did. And the next day, son of a gun, man, the president came out and says, we're stopping the pipeline. Not only that, the Department of the Army, who had to do with the permits, said, stop this. The Department of Interior, stop this. The Department of Justice, all of the head major departments in the federal government stepped up and said, stop this. And it looked like they won. They're going to have a heck of a celebration. Anyway, I'm here on the 13th, and when I finally found it on the internet, because you're not seeing it in the regular news, son of a gun, the Aztecs showed up. I'm into Aztecs, you know. I'm South America. I'm going to Teotihuacan in January, I hope, if my health holds up. So here's what happened when the Aztecs came into camp.
Aztecs, people. The Aztecs are here.
Okay, it isn't just Indians and tribal people, even the Aztecs. There are plenty of white people out there, plenty of environmentalists. Jill Stein was there, head of the Green Party. Some judge in North Dakota ordered her arrested because she put a little spray paint on a bulldozer. But wow, when you get 5,000 people together, there's no stopping them, you know. And this is a rather incredible event. And you know, what's really something about it all is that environmentalists and people in civil rights are together here. That's what Nixon really feared when he made pot and opiates illegal. Opiates to keep the blacks down, keep them in jail. Pot to keep the environmentalists, the hippies down, keep them in jail.
Just showed up. No, Mana, just showed up.
So this thing is growing.
Oh, dude, all here. Comanche relatives, all the way from Oklahoma, brought their tribe, their people, got a bus. This is what it's about. Look at that. Celebrate, tribes coming together. You gotta get here. Bring your tribes. Get your vans. Be a part of this. This is history in the making. Fighting for the sacred water, Missouri, Kitspaduxti.
God, if I was younger, I'd go. So there's a rumor the National Guard was called out, and they're going to stiffen resistance. It turned out they set up on the outlying highways, and they've been trying to turn the cars back. And the National Guard is trying to block the highways so it doesn't get too big. People are just driving out in the fields and driving around them. This is a wonderful thing. Nixon's greatest fear, civil rights gets together with environmentalists. What a wonderful thing. That's the end of a lot of the evils of our nation. It's when those two groups get together. It's true. Did I hear that right, Frost? It was Nixon that started the drug war. Yes, it turns out Halderman was on his deathbed and confessed the whole thing. And the reporter asked him, did you and Nixon know that pot was not harmful? Of course we did. And but we wanted to keep those black folks, those civil rights folks down, and we did. We went into their homes, we put them in jail, you know. And those environmentalists, those hippies, We got them with the pot laws. You know, Nixon's plot worked very well. And we wouldn't even know about it, except Haldeman was dying, decided to cough up the truth. All these years of punishment over pot, because Nixon was afraid the hippies would get together with the civil rights blacks. And you know, it's weird that it didn't happen. I was a hippie in Berkeley, grew up in Oakland, went to UC Berkeley. I'm an environmentalist, a professional hippie. And there were blacks all around me. I used to wrestle some of the Black Panthers. I had buddies who were black, but you know, somehow the civil rights thing didn't settle in with us hippies. I don't know why, but you know, we just couldn't see. I mean, what was more important was to stop DDT, seemed like, and I don't know. Their thing worked good. Now here's some more on this. I've been thinking about this, and basically this is what the corporations wanted, because what the evil corporations, and you know, and evil corporations. Think about the Department of Defense. It's just one big, huge corporation. And you can't sue people in a corporation, only the officers. Well, you can't even sue the officers here. But it's huge, the biggest office building in the world, biggest organization, biggest payroll, biggest budget, the Department of Defense. And look at the government itself. What is it? Is it not just another kind of corporation, only these guys have guns? And if you go against them, you know, like Snowden is still being held under espionage laws. Tomorrow they're starting a movement to pardon Snowden. He's a hero. We'll see what happens. But it's very clear to me that, because I went into OSHA to protect employees, you know, my education was environmental health, and I really know about pollution and all that. But when you get on the ground, you know, real pollution is the employees. So I went to work on that, and I dedicated a lot of parts of my life was in the OSHA work and in corporate places to help employees. And they are abused, and they are poisoned. And that's the civil rights. You get a right to air and to water and to be treated reasonably and respectfully. But corporations and the DOD and the governments, they trash that. They're going to keep these employees in slavery. Make sure you're scared all the time, you know. So they really abuse people, which turn out to be the employees. I mean, you get all these rights, don't you, until you walk in the workplace, and all of a sudden all your rights just fell away. So the corporate, the government, the DODs, they trashed and ruined the people, the employees, and they trashed and they ruined the environment. Yes, I mean, they're famous. Nobody pollutes more than the government and the Department of Defense. I mean, horrible, horrible. Here we are trying to get away from these carbon fuels and stop the Bakken pipeline. By the way, that pipeline, I was in that business. I was part of secondary oil recovery for Dow for 7 years. We knew about shale oil. It's the worst oil, the stinkiest, most polluting oil ever. You can't get it out of the shale. They've been trying for 30 years. Shell tried to fire flood it. They tried to steam it. It always cost 3 times more to get it out than you could sell it for. I don't know how they've solved the problem, but they got shale oil. There's 1,000 years of shale oil there, the worst oil in the world. So this Bakken pipeline to ship the shale oil across our most important rivers, you know, and try to market it, it's really a disaster for the environment and global warming. So I think it's really important that environmentalists here got together with indigenous tribes that are upset with their civil rights. They weren't told, they weren't given a place in court, they weren't allowed, they don't have the civil rights they should have to stand up and say, no, we don't want that pipeline, and this is our land. And so President Obama said that's the first thing they're going to do is they stop the pipeline. They're going to review all the rules, the regulations, all the way that they treat the tribes and indigenous people, which is all civil rights. And the environment, oh wow. But you know, it's like a news blackout. You can't You just got to go and Google it or Yahoo it or something and get all the wonderful pictures of all these colorful folks. And now the Aztecs are there. I mean, this is a most wonderful protest. It's certainly, I mean, the way the Indian tribes dress, it rivals the hippies. Hippies were colorful. They fit together beautifully. Get them together and stop this corporate government Defense Department madness. Get together. Oh, I always have too much planned for a show. Let's talk discovery. These are 2,000 years old, each block. You got done with the age of Pisces, kings and people. Now we're in Aquarius. It's a different ball game, folks. The social media get us all together, the internet. We got a new ball game for the next 2,000 years. It's great stuff. Now, it's not all gonna, be a happy heaven. If you read Bruce Schofield, who's the only astrologer who really got into Mesoamerican stuff, you can learn about the Katuns. Like one Katun is 20 years, huh? And the next Katun, another 20 years. And it turns out the last one we just had was the Katun of writing down and recording all knowledge. The one that's up ahead of us, it starts at 2032, is the real bitch. From 2032 to 2052 is the worst of all the Katuns, whether there are 18 or 20 of them. And the worst one, which includes starvations and the fall of governments and all kinds of, this is the 20-year period when humanity just bites it. Yeah, and it's 2032 to 2052. What are we looking at? We're looking at global warming. Are you going to be alive then? 2032 to 2052? Well, if we don't stop the pipelines and knock off all this carbon burning and get to the sun, for our energy, the people that are still alive then are the ones that are really going to suffer. The photovoltaics have got a lot cheaper, Yeah. Of course, it's difficult to run the DoD's big war machines on solar power, isn't it? You can run everything else, your car, even the airplanes and all your household, off the sun. But you can't run an aircraft carrier or a tank or a bomber. Those guys are continuing to go after the liquid fuels, the oil. Too bad, boys, you missed the boat. I got 4 sons. They'll all be here 2032 to 2052.